There we go. All right, so we're going to run separation of an unknown mixture by acid-base extraction. So you got a pre-lab assignment. Look up the melting points of all potential unknown compounds and fill the scheme on the report sheet. Okay, you can do that by two ways. You can go to the SDBS website, which is the spectral database, which is where you'll go to get all the data you need for this lab. Or you can go to Wikipedia. Wikipedia is probably going to be faster. Okay? In your notebook, draw structures of all potential compounds and the conjugate bases of the carboxylic acids and alcohols in the list. Okay, that would be benzoic acid, 2-chlorobenzoic acid, 4-tert-butylphenol, 2-naphthol, 1,4-dimethoxybenzene, and fluorine. Okay, so those are the compounds you need to look up and draw in your notebook, and then the acids and bases, you need to draw the conjugates of those. Sorry, the alcohols, the carboxylic acids, you got to draw the conjugates of those. So what you're going to do is you're going to do an extraction. Extraction is a way of moving one compound from one solvent to another. We're going to do that by changing the solubility of our compounds using acid-base chemistry. So you're going to come in next week and there's going to be an unknown. You're going to have unknowns 1 through 12. You're going to pick one of those, write down the unknown number, and weigh out 1 gram of that. You're going to put that into a beaker. Okay? Then you're going to add 10 milliliters of ethyl acetate. Ethyl acetate is an organic solvent. Because the compounds are organic, they will dissolve in the ethyl acetate. You'll then put them into a separatory funnel. Now your separatory funnel will be a 125 milliliter separatory funnel, which is in your kits. This, though, is a 250 milliliter separatory funnel. It's a lot different. It's a little bit bigger. In order to set this up, though, you'll have to have your ring stand, which may or may not be in your hood. It may be underneath your hood, or it may be in the back, standing in front of either the ice machine or the safety shower in the back. You'll get your separatory funnel and the stopper. Okay? And you'll come over here to the drawer that says rings. You'll reach in here and you'll check to make sure that your separatory funnel fits inside the ring. If the ring is too large, your separatory funnel will fall through and crack and break, which is something we don't want to have happen. So you have to make sure it's the right size. It's sort of like a Goldilocks story. Okay? Can't be too small, can't be too large, it has to be the right size to hold your separatory funnel. Connect this to the ring stand. Leave yourself space so you can get a 125 milliliter Erlenmeyer flask underneath the separatory funnel. Then you're going to come back over to the table and you're going to get 10 milliliters of 10% sodium bicarbonate. This stuff right here. This stuff right here. Okay? You're then going to pour 10 mils into the septic funnel. When you do that, you're going to start the acid-base process. The base is going to deprotonate the carboxylic acid or the carboxylic acid and allow it to go into the water layer so you can separate them. What you have to do is put the lid on, take the set funnel, and you need to shake it. Okay? The sloshing allows the solvent to move and allows you to have the transfer of the compound between the two layers. While doing this is going to build up pressure. So you need to release the pressure. You always have to have your hand on the stopper. If your hand comes off the stopper, the contents inside can come out. Not only that, but they can get all over your hand. And that's not a good thing. So always have your hand on the stopper. You need to vent. To vent, turn the stopcock parallel to the stem. That allows you to vent. To do this, though, you need to be in the hood. You want to have the hood sash down, which means, I know you're all sitting very comfortably in your chairs, you want to actually stand at the hood. Pull the sash down. Keep your hands underneath the hood and open so that it sprays. If there's any solvent in there, it'll spray onto the glass of the hood. Close, shake, open the vent. Close, shake, open the vent. Keep repeating that until you get no more gas buildup. Shake for a few minutes. As long as you've done that, you put it back into the ring stand. You take the lid off, the stopper, and you let the two layers separate. If you do not remove the stopper, pressure will build up in the separatory flask and it will force the stopper out of the flask into your hood and it will make a mess. It will break and there will be glassware inside the hood that you'll have to clean up. Once the layers separate, because you're using this bicarbonate, you're going to take the 125 milliliter Erlenmeyer flask that you've labeled bicarbonate, put that underneath here, and open up the stopcock to drain out the bottom layer. The bottom layer is going to be the bicarbonate layer. The top layer is the ethyl acetate. That still has your compounds dissolved in it. You're going to then take 10 milliliters of bicarbonate solution in here again. Put the cap on. Shake it. Vent. Shake. Vent. Shake. Vent. And do the separation 3 times. You're going to use 3 equivalents of 10 milliliters of sodium bicarbonate, which means you'll have to use a total of 30 milliliters of the 10% sodium bicarbonate. Okay, so once you've done shaking, put it back in, put the separatory funnel back into the ring stand. Take the lid off of it, let the layers separate, drain out the bottom layer into the beaker. Sorry, the Erlenmeyer flask that says bicarbonate. Repeat again. Once you've done that 3 times, take the flask, put it off to the side. Now, to see if you have an alcohol in there, you're going to take and add 5% aqueous sodium hydroxide. You're going to do 3 10 ml extractions. So you're going to put 10 mils of the 5% sodium hydroxide in here. Shake, vent, shake, vent, shake, vent. Stand it upright. Take the lid off. Let the layers separate, and then use the collection beaker as the one that you've labeled for sodium hydroxide. Add until you get to the ethyl acetate layer. Keep the stopcock open until you get to the ethyl acetate layer. Close the stopcock, then repeat. Put 10 more mils in of the sodium hydroxide. Put the top on. Shake it, vent, shake, vent, shake, vent. Once you've done the separation 3 times, you should have 30 milliliters of 5% sodium hydroxide in your Erlenmeyer flask. And now we have to see if you have any compound in it. You have ethyl acetate left over. You might have compound in the ethyl acetate. So we're going to deal with that one too. To deal with the compound that you still have in the ethyl acetate, if there's anything left in there, you need to do a workup. You need to drive any water out. Okay? You're going to do that by adding 5 milliliters of saturated aqueous sodium chloride and 5 milliliters of distilled water to the separatory funnel. Cap, shake, vent, shake, vent, shake, vent. Put it back, put the separatory funnel back into the ring stand. Take the cap off, let the layers separate. Drain out the bottom layer into a beaker. you're going to get rid of it. Okay, it's waste. Stuff that's left over top is ethyl acetate. You're going to pick a 50 milliliter Erlenmeyer flask, take the separatory funnel out, pour the ethyl acetate into the 50 milliliter flask, and then you're going to put that onto your hot plate. You've pre-weighed the 50 milliliter Erlenmeyer flask, then you're good to go. Oh wait, sorry. A couple steps ahead. Once you're in the 50 milliliter Erlenmeyer flask, you have to dry the organic layer by adding anhydrous mag sulfate, MgSO4. Okay. You add a little bit, you see if there's any clumping. If there is, that means there's water present, so you add a little bit more. And it's a trial to get it right, but eventually you get there. Okay, you need to get rid of that by filtering it off. Okay, so you get a piece of filter paper and the the glass funnel. Put the filter paper in the glass, fold the filter paper, put it in the glass funnel like you've done before in the past when you did the separation of a mixture lab in 111. Put a pre-weighed 50 milliliter beaker underneath the funnel. Pour your stuff through. Rinse with a little bit of ethyl acetate. All the mag sulfate will be caught in the filter paper, your compound, and the ethyl acetate will go into the beaker. And you take the beaker, you put it on the hot plate, and you boil. You evaporate off the solvent. In order to get back anything that's dissolved in the sodium bicarbonate or sodium hydroxide layers, you need to add acid to reclaim those. You'll do that by doing a drop-wise addition of 6 molar hydrochloric acid. Basically, you do that until you see no more solid precipitate form. Once no more solid precipitate forms from either the bicarbonate or the sodium hydroxide or both, you then need to filter. You're going to do that by using this setup here. This is your filter setup. You have a Buchner with a piece of filter paper, a rubber gasket, a vacuum flask. This is a sidearm flask, and a tube. You have to have the sidearm flask clamped down to a ring stand so it doesn't fall over. Because when you put the Buchner on top, it's very top heavy. If it falls over, the Buchner can break, which is going to cause problems. You can get cut by it, picking it up. Okay? So, when you're ready to go, take a little bit of cold water, some cold water on the filter paper, which you can get the filter paper up in the shelf at the front of the class. Connect the tube to the yellow port in your hood. Turn on the valve for the vacuum. Please do not attach to the air or the gas. It would be very bad to put pressure in here and have this shoot off into the atmosphere. And then once the vacuum's on, it'll pull the filter paper down. You pour your solid on there. In order to get a quantitative transfer, there's a squirt bottle of water running around here. You use that squirt bottle of water, you squeeze the squirt bottle of water, it will send water into the Erlenmeyer flask, and then it transfers all the compound here. Once you've had everything transferred over, let the vacuum run. And that will help dry your solid. Okay, so you can always grab an extra Buchner if you need to. Set up another one in your hood. We have plenty of material for this. The 327 group everybody's doing this as an individual's lab, so everybody has to do all of this on their own. But that's because they're going to do a lab practical that's on their own later on. Okay. I have no idea if you guys will do, if 327 in the fall will have a lab practical and separations. We'll see how well it works this semester. Are there any questions about what you have to do next week for lab?